Hey, this is Sonny Gargiulo. I'm here with Journey. This is part two. In part one, you saw me do some work with the blocker tie over there. You also saw me do some work with the flag with him. Uh, a little bit of proper leading, but this is how we left him. This is how we want him to be. Okay. He's the horse that he's kind of pushy, undisciplined. Flipped over at the 100 pace, right? Okay. So, you know, I wanted to get him to the point where he's more interested in listening to the leader as opposed to worrying about these other horses that might be here or what they're doing or where they're going. So you got a horse cry out there. The moment that horse cried out, he put his head right back here. You know, he shouldn't be concerned about that horse crying out. And it's just natural for him to do that, but I don't want him to do that. Listen, everything we do with the horse is unnatural. You know, we put saddles on them, we feed them grain, we put bits in their mouth. So everything we ask the horse to do really is unnatural. It's almost unfair. But they're so good and they're so pure-hearted that they'll do it if you really ask them to do it. But this is a posture that this horse is not used to. Is he used to this?
No.
Okay, so this is a posture he's not used to, but he'll get used to. He'll start to settle in his mind. And you know, when I see these horses that are kind of out of control a little bit pushy, and you know, dragging, what to me, you know, it's not a good scenario because the horse has no leadership then, and then they can't settle. They can't feel quiet in their mind. So, you know, for me to do this with him is really a privilege to get him, you know, to be this way because this is good for him. It's good for his mind, and it's good for the owner too. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So now that we have it like this, the next thing I want to do you do any inside-outside with him at all?
I've been working with that since we did the trailer loading.
Okay. So I just want to see how he does with it. Okay. I'm going to continue to work with the flag, even though he's not. You know, 100% comfortable with it. I just want to see what he does as far as inside outside. So I'm going to ask him to come around. Okay, and the more I can work with this flag with him, the better. And I'm going to just keep him a little close, just for the camera's sake. Okay. Make the change. Good boy. Get up. And when I make this change, this has to be a subtle change. Okay? I'm going to wait for him to move. Get over there. Get over there. Get over there. Get over there. I'm going to wait for him to get quiet in this direction. I'm not going to allow him just to kind of, you know, get crazy and make changes. I don't want crazy changes. I want quiet changes. Right? So if he's changing this way, if he's tracking right now, I'm going to wait till he settles. He walks quiet. There you go. Then what I'll do is I'll slip the flag under the rope. I'll keep my palm up. I'll point this way, raise the flag. The moment he takes a step, I'll drop the flag. If he takes another step, I'll drop the flag. I'll keep asking with the flag, but if he walks forward, I will not threaten with this flag. A lot of mistakes people make is they start twirling ropes at these horses, or they'll take these lunge whips, and they'll be like, you know, trot on or move on. I don't keep threatening with these flags or these, I don't use a lunge whip, but with my flag or the rope. I wait for him to make his move, take a change. Once he makes the change, there, I leave him alone. Quiet. This is nice to work with him this way. He's quiet. Ask him to trot a little bit. Okay, and I'm working in a small area just for the camera, basically. And then once I get him quiet, I'm going to slowly ask him to stop. Ooh. I might put the flag in front of him. He makes the change. He makes the change, trot. And everything stays quiet. See, nice and quiet. There you go. See, now I don't have that horse, Amanda, that's, you know, rearing up and getting crazy. So the more I can keep him this way, trot, the better he'll be. Oh. And then I'll ask him just to stand. And when I ask him to stand, again, I'm going to drop that rope. I don't want to restrain him in any way. Okay, I probably walk up, which I'm going to do, and ask him to put his head down. I'm going to continue that also. I want him to continue to do that. Good boy. Okay. So now that I got him like this, see how he put his head down? Nice. Good boy. Put his head down. You could even do that too with him. You know, start to pet him here when his head's down, and he'll start to look for that rub. Okay. The next thing I want to do with him, next session I want to do with him, part of this session, would be to direct his feet. So when you just have these horses going around in, mindless circles, that's not going to do anything for him. So I want to keep his attention all the time. So I want to ask him to do things. I'm never going to ask him to do something that's not going to teach him something, right? So here I'm walking him, tracking him left, okay? I'm working with the flag still. See, he's getting better with the flag. At the same time, I'm going to ask him to step over. There. Once he steps over, I'll let him walk forward. Ask him to step over, walk forward. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Hey, Freddie. Right? Ask him to step over, walk forward. So each time I ask him, Amanda, to step forward and walk over, or step over, I'm going to ask for a little more. One. There's 2 steps. If he doesn't get, after 2, if he doesn't get it, I just walk forward. I don't look to get 3 if I can't get 3. Maybe this time I can get 3. Maybe next time I can. It doesn't matter. I just build on it. Ask him to change direction. Let that rope get around his feet like that. I don't care about that. Okay, I got him in a little circle. I'm going to ask him to step over. Go forward, step over. Step over. Step over. Good boy. Okay, see how he's stepping over there? Get over. Go forward. If he starts backing up, I'll let him go forward. Okay, go forward. Once he does that for me, I'll bring him around just for the camera's sake. I'll ask him to stand, go, and let go of the rope and put his head down. See his feet there? I'm going to ask him to square up his feet. Ho. Put his head down and keep him like this. That's good?
Yeah, I've never seen him square up his feet like that.
Okay.
So easily.
So he's quiet, he's relaxed. We haven't had a confrontation at all. Okay? I'm not fighting with him. I'm just leading him. I'm being that leader that he needs. Okay? The moment he decides to not be this horse, then I get very disciplined with him. When he is this horse, when I leave him at this point where he's here, I leave him alone. So I'm not going to micromanage him when he's like this, but I will micromanage this particular horse when he's not like this right now. Okay? So if he starts, raising his head and looking at Freddie, or looking out into the woods, any of that stuff, I'll remind him that his head goes here. His head does not go up here. Stay here, stay quiet. Okay? So this looks more like a horse that I would want to get up on top of, as opposed to a horse that, his head is up in the air and he's looking around, he's crying for other horses, right? So this is so important, Amanda. When you can get this and you can work on this at your barn, and then you take him out to those 100 paces and stuff, even if he's not 100%, he's going to be 50%. You're going to have a fighting chance. You're going to have a chance to get him. He's going to know this. So when you get him to 100 pace, you think he's getting antsy and crazy. You're going to get right to this stuff. Get him back to this. Remind him that this is where he has to be in his mind. Okay, not that. And again, like I said, I'll micromanage him here. If he goes looking that way, he goes looking this way. Keep your head here. See? Good boy. He looks better, right?
So much better.
Okay. All right, buddy. Now you can pick your head up for a second. So the other thing I want to do with him is just simple things. And I just put out cones in this pole, Amanda, just to show you a couple things. But you can, you're a pretty creative person, so you can figure all this stuff out, right? So I'm going to ask him to step over. There you go. And this time I'm going to ask him to do this maybe. Come here, step over, back, ask him to back up, come to this side, head down, step over, no, head down, nope, nope, good boy, step over, good. See how I pushed through that time?
Yeah.
I'm just going to let him do it. See, I'm going to let him do it because he needed to do it for some reason in his mind, okay? So I won't let him do it twice. I'll ask him to back up, and then I'll start to work him again. And the more you do this out here, stepping over like that, okay, the more he's going to know it. So when I get him to here, I'm going to tell him step over. Come on. You can do it. And he's having a little trouble with this side, but that's okay. That shows you where you got to work. Step over, step over, step over, come through, back up, step over, good, over, good, ho, put your head down. So you'll work him front, back. There's an exercise on one of my YouTubes, on my website's called Target Cone Exercise. And that's basically this. So I'll bring him forward. Okay, I'll back him up. I'll ask him to step over, 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 over. Come on. Come on, it's okay. And I'm just waiting for him to understand it. If he doesn't understand it, I'll keep working on it. Take him this way here, around, step over, come around, get around. I want that hip to come around a little bit. Good. Again, I'll ask that hip to come around. So I'll keep annoying him here until that hip comes around. Come on. Good. Okay. Ask him to back up. Step back up. Step over. Over. Good. Over. Hey. Over. Good. Come on. Good. Back. Back. Over. And this is work we did at the trailer too, right?
Yeah.
So we did this at the trailer. So this is going to help you at the trailer also. So you'll just work him around these cones. Maybe I'll take him and I'll do this. I'll start to back him around this cone. Notice also he's getting used to the flag too. Right? So now the flag's not that big of a deal. And this is kind of like a feel you develop. So I'll raise that flag when I think I need it. I'm staying real quiet in my hand here. The moment he comes forward, I'll put a little pressure on and then raise the flag. Okay? Over. There you go. Back up. Back up. Step over. Back up. Back up. Step over. Ho. And then once I leave him be, see he wasn't settled back there. He's not settled there yet. I have this on the floor. He's not settled with that. But once I get him settled like that, his feet are square, I'll put his head down. Okay. Good boy. Okay. The last thing I want to do with him, come here, is I'll just use the pole. Come on, get over. So he should, what you want to try to do, what you're trying to do here is, let me show you my hand for a second. Okay, so I'm grabbing the rope like this, and I got my thumb on the bottom side of it, my forefinger's on the top. You should start to develop, you want to start to develop a feel. Meaning, I don't want to grab this rope. I'm not looking to grab this rope. The moment I grab this rope, I start fighting with him. Okay? I just want to guide him. I want him to go off the feel of my hand, the feel of my body. See? My hand's open. See how my hand's open? Yet I'm guiding him. Okay? And that's what I'm looking for him to do. To get off that feel of my hand. I'll take him over here. I could play with this rope, this pole right here. I could ask him the first thing, just step over it. Something very simple. Take him this way, back up. Maybe I'll ask him to square. Maybe I ask him to put his head down. Good boy. Okay. Raise that rope again. Ask him to go off over the pole this way. Nope. Come on, get over. Okay. Change direction. Come back over this way. Disengage him, change direction. Come back over this way. There's a couple of things. Add a little bit to it, and then go back to this. You notice how he's learning this? Good boy. Okay, come on. Then maybe I'll do something like this. You know, I'll bring him up into it, just to keep him, you know, interested and keep me interested at the same time. I'll ask him to step over. Okay, he didn't do that well with that. I'll come back this way. Step over. Good boy. I'll start on his on side. Hope. Hope. So he's not comfortable just standing over that pole for some reason. So what I'll do is I'll keep working that. Get over. I'll keep working him there until I can get him to do that and staying quiet here. See, he doesn't want to stand there for some reason, but that's okay. Come on. Step over. So before I could get him to side pass over this, I have to get him comfortable with standing by it, right? So I want to bring him in, and he's kind of, that's good. I'll even leave him there for now, head down. If he gives me 1 foot over that thing and he stands there, that's good, good boy. Give him a good scratch. Ask him to step forward. Come on. Go. See, the whole idea is to teach these guys, is not to make him do that. See, he had to learn himself. I just put him there and let him figure it out. Good boy. And the posture is what I'm really looking at. You know, the head's down, he's squared up, he's quiet, he's not blowing, he's not breathing, you know, none of that stuff. Okay, once I get him to this, then maybe I could play with this kind of stuff. Get over. There you go, okay? Those are things you could play around with. But, you know, you need to do the other stuff first. Keep doing the other stuff. Okay, so just to wrap up with this guy, squaring up, heads down. Okay, good boy. Again, this type of horse, especially this guy where he is, or where he was, you have to be very disciplined yourself. No matter what he does, you have to remember to put him back to this spot. Okay, this is the best position you could have him in to talk to him. Okay, when he first came in, we have the video running around, pulling back on the thing, all that stuff. Okay, now, different horse. The last thing I want to do is I'm going to put him back on the blocker and let him stand there. And the more you can do that with him, the better it is. You know, I'm not opposed to keeping a horse I'm opposed to putting a horse on that if they're not ready to stand. So I don't like when people use these patience poles and they just take a horse, they tie him up, and they just leave him there and see what happens. He'll learn to stand after a while. What happens is the horse can get hurt, right? But if I have him in this position, in this mindset, with this head like this, quiet, his eye, he's ready to fall asleep. When I walk him to that blocker, I'm not going to have half the issues that I would have had before, as you'll see in part one, right? So in part one, he was pulling back, he was freaking, you know. Now, if I take this horse to that blocker, he should be standing a lot quieter. So, you know, the whole lesson here is to be very disciplined with him and to remember that this controls the feet. The mind controls the feet. The mind controls the body. He's no different than you, right? Or myself or anyone. Anything that's living, the mind makes the decision and then the body follows the decision, okay? So I had to get him to the point where this horse, who is typically head up in the air, right?
Yep.
Okay, typically head up in the air, typically wild, you know, pulling you away and eating grass and doing whatever he wants to do, is to this position here. Once I get him to this, even with that, see all that, listen to that all going on? I'm gonna, watch what happens. Even with that stuff going on back there, all that noise, and horses crying, I gotta keep him here, okay? And if he's here, that means he's with me. If he starts lifting his head for that stuff, that means he's over there. And again, like I said, if he makes a decision, it's going to be one I don't want him to make. So he's never going to make a decision when he's with me. This is the horse I want to get on. This is the horse I want to work with. The horse that came in the beginning of the session is not a horse that I would want to jump right on. Okay? This is not a horse that's going to flip. You know, the horse that flipped backwards and flipped over at the 100 pace, it was not this horse. Okay? So you need to get him to remind him all the time that this is the horse he has to be, not that horse. And you know, there's an old saying, you don't learn to dance the day of the prom. Okay? So a couple of weeks of this and he'll really learn it. And even if he got off the trailer and started getting crazy or started to think about being the old journey, you'll have the tools in his head to say, hey, remember what I told you? Put yourself like this. So if I took this horse to 100 pace today and he started getting wild, I would just say, hey, I'm not even concerned about that pace right now, because there's no way I could get on a horse that's going to be safe like that. I'm going to get him to this point, and then when I get him to this point, he's going to be so much better of a ride. He's going to be safe. He's not going to want to flip over. You know, this is not a horse that's going to flip himself over, right? So I'm just going to take him to the blocker one last time. Okay. Come on, buddy. Tie him about an arm's length again. I'm just going to leave him. See, now he learned to tie. He knows how to tie, right? He knows to stay quiet. If I now that he's here, if I would have taken him, which we did in the beginning, and you'll see in part one, where he's pulling back and he ran off one time, almost got off. This is not a horse that's looking to do that. Now, if I thought he was, I'd walk off. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll walk over at some point and just do this. I'll take my hand and ask him to drop his head. Okay? And just stay quiet. You notice he's squared up. He's quiet. This is a horse I would leave here for a half hour. Just standing there. That ain't going to hurt him to stand there for a half hour, because we already taught him to stand quiet. We already taught him to be quiet. But if I take a horse that's not quiet and I put him on that thing, yeah, it's going to slip. But things could still happen. And it's not fair to him. It's throwing him into a situation that he's not comfortable with. I made him very comfortable about this. Even that reaction right there, he thought about it, and he's like, eh. Okay? You have any questions?
Yeah, so we bring him somewhere and he does come off hot. The first thing I want to do is be bringing his head back down to get him sound, but even if his head's down and he's still hot, what would you recommend?
You're going to work, you're going to keep working him and putting him in this position.
Yeah.
So if he was hot right now, I would work him, and then say, ho, and stand there.
Okay.
And get him to the point where he's falling asleep. Because there's no sense of, getting on him and having him flip over on you.
No.
Right?
We don't want that again.
Right. So
Fell
the
twice.
idea is for him to learn to get to this place in his mind before you work with him, before you're going to get on him and do all that stuff. What do you think, Freddie? Yeah? Right? So you see, he's not even so much concerned about the other horses either.
No.
Right? So at this part, Amanda, in his training, if he was with me, I would keep him tied here for about a half hour. Then I would walk him around. I'd take him off. I'll do it now. I would take him off. Okay. Tell him what a good boy he was, right? Give him a good pet. Even though I'm here and petting him, I want his head down. Okay? I never want to have to reach for him. Okay? Never reach for him. Okay? Then I'll take him away. Come on, buddy. I would take him away. I would lead him, even when I'm leading him. That head has to be like this. And I definitely don't want him getting ahead of me. So even when I give him a break, mentally, he still has to act like this. He cannot drag me that way. He cannot get ahead of me. We talked about discipline in the beginning, being the leader, being very disciplined. You have to be disciplined all the time with him. Okay, just till we get him where we really want him. Okay, so if I ask him to come forward, this would be his downtime. Okay, his break from being tied. Okay, ask him to do that. Stand there. Maybe I would work on ho, standing. So I would tell him every time I stopped, I would say ho, and then I would start doing this session or this lesson in between, where I would ask him to put his head down. Okay, at the same time, I'd back up a little bit, and I'd have him stand there. And then I'd back up a little more, and have him stand there. Then I'd go in, say, what a good boy. Good boy. Hey, come on. Maybe walk a few steps. Okay, let him come out of that a little bit. Let him know there's a break to that. Okay, and you notice I'm moving very slow with him. Ask him to put his head down. It's good? You're smiling. Why?
Because this is a different horse.
But this is the horse you can work with.
Yeah.
This is a good boy. And, it's not his fault. He needs somebody to explain it to him.
Yeah. So at home, we have a lot of grass in our ring.
Yeah. So let's do that, okay? Just follow me with the camera.
Yeah.
I'm going to take him out into this grass here.
Yeah, because he's been really good since you taught us to
Right.
only eat when we're letting him eat.
Right. So let's see if we have the same horse outside the ring, okay? And then we'll finish up with that. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I can't stress this enough. This guy here, when I'm walking him right now, he has to be disciplined. Everything has to be in his mind that he's working. And remember, the more reactive you get, the more reactive he'll get.
Okay.
I got some horses sometimes that come in here and let's say an ex-race horse or something, and they start rearing up, backing up. I stay this way. I don't change. My demeanor, my disposition never changes. So whatever he's doing, he could do it all day long. I could care less. This is how I'm going to be. So I want to bring him to where there's some grass over here. Okay, again, see him looking over there? I'm going to bring him right back to me. Right back to me. Let me put him in front of this horse first and explain to him to keep his head down, because this is a distraction. See what I'm doing? The moment he goes looking at Jacob over there, put your head down, horse. No, don't take a step. See, I took that step? Mm-hmm. Don't even do that. Stay like this. This is exactly what I mean by the discipline. Put your head down. There you go. Good. Good boy. Once he gets there, I'll just walk him off. Come on, buddy. Now I got some grass here. Okay. I'm going to turn him around. And you got grass at your place, right?
A lot of grass.
Okay. So here's some grass. First thing I'm going to do is not correct the grass, not correct the eating. I'm going to get him back to the position I want, and then lock my hand. Lock my hand. So there's going to be no place that he can relax except right there. The moment he goes for that grass, I'll lock my hand. The moment he looks over there, I'll put his head here. Until I get that horse back that I have in the ring, I will continue to annoy him. I will continue to discipline him. I will continue to micromanage him till he decides that's not going to be fun, because it's not getting me anywhere. Straight down. No. No. See him starting to nudge me with his nose there?
Yep.
I just block him with my fist. And just block him. Good now. He should never, this horse, number one, should never, ever eat on trail, ever, or on his back, ever. And he should never really eat while you're leading him. So if I was going to give him grass at some point, I know we taught him, or you started to teach him, to only eat the grass when you cue him, right?
Yes.
Would you rub his neck?
Rub his neck.
Okay. So see that little step he took? I'm not even going to allow that. That little step I'm not even going to allow. Good boy. Now I'll rub his neck, and I'll rub it until he actually goes down and eats grass. Once he eats, I'll let him take a bite. I'll pick him up. Ask him to put his head down. And I'm correcting those little steps. So every time he moves his feet, Amanda, every time he goes for that grass, I'll correct his feet, I'll correct his face. If he goes to nudge me, I'll correct that too. I just want to get him back to the spot where he's like this. Good boy. There you go. Good boy. Okay. Hey, this is Sonny Gargiulo. Thanks for watching. Amanda, thank you for letting me use Journey.
Thank you.
Like I said, with this guy here, everything's about discipline. Being very disciplined with this horse. Do you have any questions?
No, I think you got them all.
Guys, remember the most important thing, the mind controls the feet. The mind controls the body. That's the way it works. Once you get the mind, the body follows. If you don't have the mind, the body goes wild and does what it wants. Okay? Thanks for watching.